Tang Tian traversed into the realm of cultivation, awakening two systems simultaneously, the infinite consumption system and the consumption increase system. Thus commenced the tale of a prodigious figure in the celestial world. A certain wealthy immortal remarked, "Do not speak of my riches, he could effortlessly toss aside enough to purchase 1,000 of me." A prominent commercial association declared, upon encountering him, "I truly understood the essence of wild consumption." An exalted sovereign lamented, "I truly do not wish to part with my sacred ground, yet his offers are simply too enticing." After acquiring a substantial portion of the cultivation world in one fell swoop, Tang Tian sighed, "In truth, I merely desire to grow stronger." Chapter 1. The Arrival of Dual Systems. The infinite consumption system has been activated. By consuming spiritual jade, one may acquire consumption points. Consumption points can be exchanged for talents, insights, physical attributes, and more. Within a modest, dilapidated stone abode, Tang Tian sat by the window, his expression a blend of joy and concern. The joy stemmed from his fortunate arrival in this new world, accompanied by an exceptional system. According to the description of the infinite consumption system, engaging in ordinary consumption behaviors would yield corresponding consumption points. These points could then be redeemed for various levels of talent, physique, comprehension opportunities, and other extraordinary treasures. If he could successfully exchange them, his path of cultivation would be paved with ease. However, after scouring his entire being, he found not even a single coin. Consumption? Without money, could he perhaps barter with his visage? Alas, Tang Tian sighed deeply. Moments ago, he had completely merged all his previous memories. This is a world of cultivation. There are 9 significant realms: chi refinement, foundation establishment, golden core, nascent soul, divine transformation, out of body, fusion, tribulation crossing, and ascension. With each elevation and realm, one's strength undergoes a profound transformation. However, Tang Tian is merely at the second layer of chi refinement, a humble servant disciple within the Qinghua sect. His aptitude is so lamentable that he cannot even activate a single spiritual ring, rendering him the lowest among the servant disciples. Tang Tian glanced at the exchange list within the system. A single ring of talent requires merely 1 consumption point for redemption. Yet, acquiring 1 consumption point necessitates the expenditure of 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. Where could he possibly procure 10,000 spirit stones? His monthly allowance amounts to a mere 10 low-grade spirit stones. After deductions by the overseer, losses to the heads of the servant disciples, and theft by certain bullies, he is left with virtually nothing. Just yesterday, he had been robbed of all his spirit stones and subsequently beaten, which led to his sudden demise, granting the current Tang Tian the opportunity for soul transmigration. How can I possibly acquire money? I am not unappealing in appearance, but alas, I lack a wealthy benefactor's contact list. Tang Tian scratched his head, perplexed about what course of action to take. Without spirit stones, this system is little more than a mere decoration. Yet, just as he fretted over his financial woes, a voice resonated inexplicably within his mind. Consumption system, which increases rather than decreases, has been successfully bound. When the host possesses sufficient spiritual jade, consumption will not only remain unchanged, but will actually increase. Tang Tian was momentarily taken aback. What is happening? Is there another system? He was instantly filled with excitement and hurriedly began to explore. The newly introduced system was remarkably straightforward as long as one had an adequate amount of spiritual jade. Upon completing a consumption action, not only would there be no depletion, but the corresponding spiritual jade would actually increase. This, Tang Tian couldn't help but gasp in astonishment. With this system, his future supply of spiritual jade would essentially become limitless. Moreover, with the infinite consumption system, goodness, wouldn't that make him invincible? He could acquire as many consumption points as he desired. All those extraordinary items within the system could then be exchanged. Tang Tian once again gazed at the system's exchange list. First, regarding talents. First ring talent, 1 consumption point. Second ring talent, 10 consumption points. Third ring talent, 100 consumption points. Child of the heavenly path, 10 trillion consumption points. Child of chaos, 100 trillion consumption points. Next, concerning physical constitution. First rank constitution, 1 consumption point. Second rank constitution, 10 consumption points. Third rank constitution, 100 consumption points. Innate holy body Tao, 10 trillion consumption points. Eternal chaotic entity, 100 trillion consumption points. Additionally, there is the aspect of enlightenment. A moment of ordinary enlightenment, 100 consumption points. A moment of preliminary enlightenment, 1,000 consumption points. A moment of intermediate enlightenment, 10,000 consumption points. A moment of chaotic enlightenment, 100 trillion consumption points. Moreover, there exist divine entities such as cosmic fortune, primal forces of the universe, and the laws of the universe, all of which sound exceedingly extraordinary. However, their prices are exorbitantly high and thus do not fall within the realm of current consideration at present. The most feasible items for exchange are talents, physical attributes, and enlightenment. This has already left Tang Tian quite satisfied, for he can clearly envision a radiant future ahead. Possessing a system where consumption points not only remain intact, but proliferate, accumulating sufficient points is merely a matter of time. Phew! After a considerable duration, Tang Tian finally managed to calm his exhilarated emotions. His next primary task is to contemplate how to spend his money. What a truly delightful endeavor it is. However, the prerequisite for spending money is, of course, having money. At this moment, he finds himself devoid of even a single coin. After some reflection, Tang Tian rose and approached the bedside, retrieving a small cloth pouch from the crevice of the bed. Unfastening the pouch, a dark gray porcelain vial came into view. Upon opening the vial, a fragrant aroma wafted forth. This is a vial of nourishing essence pill. As a humble disciple of the Qing West sect, each month, in addition to receiving 10 low-grade spirit stones, I am also granted a vial of ordinary nourishing essence pills, intended for my daily cultivation practices. 1 vial is worth 2 low-grade spirit stones. Yesterday, the bullies merely extorted all my spirit stones, disregarding this vial of nourishing essence pills. Yet to Tang Tian, it represents a precious seed capital that IT could easily be exchanged for at least 1 low-grade spirit stone. But where to sell it? Soon, a name surfaced in his memory, Jin Yutang. This establishment is a dedicated marketplace for cultivators, where many disciples of the Qing West sect procure necessary elixirs, spiritual artifacts, and other resources for their cultivation. Additionally, they provide appraisal and recycling services for practitioners. You're the one, Tang Tian resolved immediately, planning to liquidate the nourishing essence pills and activate both systems at once. He had no desire to relive his previous life. In his recollections, he was constantly bullied, laboring tirelessly each day. Such a life held not a single aspect worth cherishing. After all, he was a transmigrator. He could not bring shame upon his peers. Could he? With his decision made, Tang Tian tucked the nourishing essence pills into his robe and departed the stone dwelling, heading towards Jin Yutang. As he walked, he remained ever so vigilant, scarcely glancing at the picturesque scenery surrounding him. It was not the fear of losing the nourishing essence pills that troubled him, but rather the anxiety of inadvertently provoking individuals best left undisturbed. This is indeed a realm of cultivation, and he certainly wished to avoid any unforeseen circumstances that might lead to his untimely departure upon arrival. Fortunately, after approximately half an hour, Tang Tian successfully reached his destination. Before him stood an exquisitely ornate pavilion, with the characters Jin Yutang displayed prominently, their bold strokes hanging high above the entrance. At the grand doorway, numerous cultivators came and went, predominantly disciples of the Qin Yu sect. Without hesitation, Tang Tian stepped inside. The Qin Yu sect enforces 2 unyielding laws. Those who betray the sect shall be executed. Those who senselessly harm their fellow disciples shall be executed.